All right. So anyways, well, Jay, welcome, welcome. We're excited to hear and know you had a fantastic turnout at your open house. And I'm sorry I wasn't able to go, but I saw all the pictures, saw the rave reviews, and I know it's very exciting for our community. Hopefully you got a lot of people that didn't really know too much about it to see what all the buzz is about. And I'll just turn it over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mary. I appreciate that. First of all, you had referenced in an email I saw the stickers, the bumper stickers that that our kids produced. And this is it. I wish they had a place like this when I was a kid. I hear that just day in and day out. So if you're ever by here, make sure you get one of these. The most interesting phrase that I heard that got someone a sticker like this was a woman didn't say that. She said, she's about my age and her kids are all grown. She goes, this makes me want to have kids again. Now, I don't know if anyone's that passionate about it. I probably don't want to have kids anymore, but it just speaks to the fact that we have so much interest in what we're doing. The Portraits magazine that AISD has put out is, we're on the cover of it. It's a very nice magazine. And then it's got a great story on the inside of a young lady whose father was actually one of the supervisors here. Arthur Rodriguez was here as our supervisor for Southwest General Contractors. And she said, she just woke up one day and said, I want to be an orthodontist. Do you think I can go there? And absolutely she did. And so this is a space for every student, no matter when they decide on a career pathway. It's better if they can get in it earlier, because then we have some options. Let's say they get into something their freshman year and they don't like it. That's not a loss, that's a win. But then maybe they can jump to some other career pathway and get connected there. I tell kids that this place is a 200-yard head start in a 400-yard race. Sometimes I may need to say it's a 300-yard head start in a 400-yard race, because our kids are already starting to get jobs before they even graduate high school. I have one senior in the plumbing program who is considering 3 job offers. I don't know. I mean, that doesn't happen too often. I had 3 job offers when I got out of college, but to be in high school and still get that offer is amazing. One of our students, who's a sophomore plumber, got a job offer to go ahead and come on site to work as a plumber apprentice to help out, instead of doing the work that he's doing, stalking from 11 to 7 every single night. He's a young man that lives with his grandparents. And I told him that he needs to take that, because that will get him launched into his career. We have a lot of different stories like that happen day to day. One thing I'm learning is that talking to companies, talking to businesses here in town, I'm finding that our kids are going to be a commodity, a hot commodity. In fact, I'm not sure we can produce the workforce right now that our community needs. And so the onus is going to be on us here at AmTech to recruit more and more kids in our programs. Right now, welding is capped. We have so many students involved in or want to be involved in welding. We've had to cap it, but we took the 15 students that didn't get in, and they're now in our machining program, because that machining program, I guarantee you, every single one of the machinists will be hired if they go through and do a good job. Pantex needs 15 like now. If I had 15 to give them, we could get them hired immediately. I'd hire them today. So lots of different companies are interested in what we're doing. So how many of you have seen the inside of AmTech? Okay, so good. I'm gonna kind of take you through just a slideshow of some of the pictures, and then please ask questions if you will. But I'm gonna go ahead and open up the PowerPoint and get this thing going. I'm gonna share that with y'all, and I'm actually gonna start presenting the slideshow right now. Can you all see that? Good? All right, so I'm gonna do that. So I don't know if you've heard this story or not, but it's really kind of fun, because I've been, well, first of all, I love that flag, that picture that we took the first day, that sun just shining through. It was a beautiful picture. I didn't know it was so beautiful, but I always like to use that on slide presentations. So I was in Austin at a training, and I saw that there was Earl Campbell's food truck there. I didn't know he had a food truck, and I didn't know he served tacos. And if anything, I thought I knew that he did something with barbecue. So I was kind of jazzed about the fact that Earl Campbell has a food truck. And I asked the girl taking my order, I said, well, I've got some stickers. Can I put my sticker on there like everybody else has? And she goes, sure. So I'm putting it up there thinking to myself, you know, she doesn't own this truck. It's Earl Campbell's. I was just kind of joking to myself. About that time, I'm backing up looking at this beautiful AmTech sticker right there in the middle. And I hear this voice from behind me that said, you must think you're awful good putting a sticker on my truck. And I'm like, what is going on? And I turn around, and literally there is Earl Campbell. I could not believe it. I don't know if he eats there every day, or I just was fortunate enough to be there on the day that he was there. I don't know, but that was an amazing experience. And he said, tell me about it. And I'm like, yes, sir. And I gave him my elevator speech in about 30 seconds. And he looks at me and he says, that's good. And so we fist bumped, and his fists are twice as big as mine. So I had to do a double tap just to get all of his fists. It was just an amazing experience. So now we can add Earl Campbell to the list of fans of AmTech. I'm not sure if he really understood what we do, but it was kind of funny because when I left him, I said goodbye, and he said, I want half the profits. And I'm like, no, we don't. We're not into it for money making. It was just kind of funny. So evidently he's an entrepreneur, but we do train entrepreneurs. So anyway, these are the pathways. This is one page of the many different pathways that we have. We have 9 different schools that you can read there: animal science, architecture, construction, manufacturing, media arts, School of Business, Marketing, Finance, culinary arts, School of Medical Arts, law and public service, STEM and IT, as well as transportation. But if you look back over all of these different pathways, these are growing. You know, when we began the year, we didn't have as many as we thought we would, because we keep adding things that just make sense for us. So in School of Culinary Arts, for instance, we bought a La Marzocco machine, big fancy espresso maker, and now we are able to train students as baristas. So we've actually done a lot more than we thought we were going to do. So all of these different things are just taking off. And again, as Mary referenced, we are in 0 year. I keep reminding my teachers, we should not expect ourselves to be doing as well as we actually are. And I'm trying to calm them down so they don't have a panic about, well, we didn't get this done or didn't get that done. I'm like, because one of the things I wanted done was a food truck. We're going to have a food truck before I leave this place, but it's going to take time. It's going to take time recruiting the students, getting enough students in the pipeline to be able to afford that time for them to help build that food truck. But needless to say, we will have a food truck before I leave here. Drone technology is just now taking flight. Sorry for the pun, but that's true. We just got our screens put in our drone coliseum, where the screen will come down. We can put our drones in there and fly around without harming anyone. In all these pathways, we are taking certification tests. 2 days ago, we took what day is this? Yeah, Monday, we took registered dental assisting. All of our students passed their certifications first round. We are sitting with patient care technician. I think we're sitting at about a 93% passing rate. We had 4 students not pass, and they didn't pass by a combined like 3 points. They nearly were there, but everyone else passed over the last 3 days. We're testing again this afternoon. So all of these tests are going on. EKG tech, EMT will happen later. So all of these tests, all these programs lead to those industry-based certifications. Other things that we do are visiting professional symposia. That's where we have professionals like you who volunteer their time to come in and speak with our young people about their careers. And so an engineer from Pentex can come and talk to our students about their life as an engineer, to give students a sort of an understanding of what it would be like on a day in, day out basis. Other things that have happened are things like our Success Center, which already has an Amarillo College transition coordinator. Saira Maldonado is here on Mondays, talking with our students, getting them connected to an Amarillo College experience if that's their next step. Success 101 is a class that we teach for freshmen and sophomores. It's all about professional skills that are transferable to any career, whether or not they stay in the one that they're in or jump ship and go to something else. They'll always know what it's like to be a professional. We're doing a lot of work with our students, and it really is paying off, because at the open house the other night, I kept hearing that over and over and over again. People said, oh, your open house was great. And especially your students who did XYZ, who were so professional, who just welcomed us, who made us feel so welcomed, and they were very hospitable, and they told us everything we needed to know about that program. And so that was very nice to hear from a lot of different people in our community. It's been great to hear that about our students. We do want to get involved with our community. We had recently an AutoTech, well, not just AutoTech, but we had a car show here that benefited the Maverick Club. It netted over $1,500 in entry fees, and it got a unique clientele into our building that may never have been here before, and that is those who love cars. I love cars. And I was jazzed to see 75 cars packed into our space. I'll show you a picture of that in just a minute. It was amazing. The car culture folks are great. Some of them had never heard of AmTech before, or just peripherally heard of it. And now they are fans. They have grandchildren or even children that may not have even been in the district, that have decided to move into the district because of all the things that they saw when they were here last weekend. So the journey has been kind of like this side of things over here, with on the left with the old Hastings. So that's my office actually before, and then this is my office after. As you can see in this picture, and the one that's there, that's actually my office that I took a picture of. So what's old is new again. And we did this in 1 year. Really, it's been a year and a half. We opened up the east side in August, and then the west side, where all the dirty jobs are, the trades and everything, that opened in January. So it's been amazing to see what we've done in basically a year and a half getting ready. This was the old Sears building. Many of y'all may be familiar with that. And so that isn't there anymore. It looks a little bit different. Then we're also at Sears added to that over the years. Sears was part of that equation for us. And I got the opportunity to take Mr. Marmaduke on a tour of the building. It was fascinating to hear his stories of what AmTech has become, and where things were located when he was the CEO of Hastings. I think he really was gratified to know that some place that he put so much of his life into was now kind of being reborn into an education facility. That Hastings sign behind us, I actually took out of here when we first started the demolition and kept that sign. And then now it's back up at our campus as kind of a memory of what it used to be. Everybody seemed to love Hastings. This is kind of loud. Turn that down. So this is a visual of what the architect said it would look like. And I'm here to tell you, it looks very much like this. The only thing is that the Sunset Center part is now gone on the north side. Y'all have driven by. And I'll tell you, our billboard screens, or we call them the jumbotrons on both sides of planes, have attracted a lot of attention. We get a lot of people kind of making comments about how those help them envision what's inside that building. And so it's just a beautiful, beautiful space. When it's not as windy as it has been, we'll get our drones back up there and take an actual image. But I will tell you, this looks very much like what you'll find when you drive by here. I'm just amazed every time I see this, how far we've come. We've really come a long way since the building looked old and nasty and ratty. And so anyway, that's a look during construction with the drone shot that was in the paper. This is what our footprint looks like, and y'all have been in the building, so you kind of can see some of that area. This was another shot of construction. And then this is what it looks like today. So you go from this to this, and then you go from this, which everyone can see the Hastings image in there, and you go from that to that. If I were like an optometrist, I could say 1, 2, 1, 2, and everybody go 2, 2, 2, because it's absolutely just beautiful. Our space is not only beautiful, but it's very much a place where our students are getting down and dirty with what they're doing, learning so much. I just came out of the culinary pastry kitchen, and they're in there making these sugar cookies, and they're icing them to look like sunflowers. Someone has purchased those for an order, and I think they ordered 150 cookies for some event, and our kids are just learning so much, and it's just rewarding to be able to be a part of what our young people are learning. This is a look at our drone facility before. Some of y'all who've been in the building, this is our robot drone coliseum. We've done a lot of work, and this is what it looks like today. So it's amazing transformation, and this was actually set up for a robotics competition. We've had 3 robotic competitions, and then we're having another one this weekend. This is the 30th, right? Yeah, another one this weekend, Gear Robotics. It's for middle school and elementary school students, and our robotics team is helping with that. This will be packed with parents and students from our region, from about 30 different schools. That'll be packed this weekend. This space right here, actually, I wanted a robot coliseum. I wanted some place where you could do robots, but I never dreamed how functional this space actually is, with the learning stairs and with just the openness of it. We were able to have 500 Amarillo High football banquet folks in, 500, and we served them in 10 minutes. So this is available for rent. If you're an AISD team or function, we don't charge rent, but others outside we would. You do have to pay for meals, and they range anywhere from $8 to $15, depending on what kind of meal you would want. We had to bring in extra tables because we didn't have enough tables to fit the 500, but that's a simple thing. And so this space is becoming very, very multifunctional. In fact, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. We're working right now with Mayor Nelson, and you've probably heard of or attended the State of the City addresses that she hosts. Our students will be hosting it right here at AmTech in that facility that you see right there. They're coming up with a theme. They're coming up with the logos, the marketing. They'll do the live streaming. They're going to build a small stage. They're going to design everything. It's going to be amazing. It will be November the 2nd. And just to let you know, our students are so creative, and they threw out several themes that they'd already come up with. And I immediately gravitated toward this one, as well as Mayor Nelson. And they came up with the theme of unity in community. Now, I don't know if that's been anywhere else or whatever, but it's got a great ring to it. And if you look at the word community, there actually is unity in community. And so that's going to be our theme for this year. We're kind of coming out of COVID. We're coming out of all the being separate in this country. There's too much separation going on, instead of appreciating the fact that we're a one country made up of many different people. And so we want to celebrate that uniqueness, that oneness that we have. We're one, though many. We never want to lose the diversity that we have in our country, but we also want to not lose the fact that we are one country, one people coming together for one purpose. And so that's kind of where the kids are coming up with that unity and community. It'll be interesting to see where that theme goes. So just know that you probably heard it here first. We were earlier in January notified. I actually went to Orlando and gave a presentation as a finalist for the Innovative Learning Spaces Award put out by Tech and Learning magazine. I had no idea really what it was about. And I said, well, I thought we were applying for the one in Austin, which would have been in September. They said, oh, we've seen your your space, and we really would rather you come now. And so it was in January, and I said, okay. And they said, we'll make sure that you want to come because we're going to pay for everything. And I was like, okay, even better. So they paid for the entire trip. I got there, and we were one of 3 spaces, 3 schools that presented, and we were fortunate enough to be the one. So it's kind of fun to have all the notoriety for what work we've done here at AmTech so far. Those of you who've been here, you've seen these spaces, so I'm not gonna linger on these a whole lot, except to show you some of the new images that we put up here. On the left, you see Success Way, and on the right, you see Career Avenue. And I'll show you the intersection a little bit closer up, something that we put up there. This is what our hallways look like. We've got the brick work in there. You've seen STEM, and we have this theme, if you didn't know, called Learning on Display. And our Learning on Display is where it's a window into the world of our students, so you can see what they're doing. This is inside our engineering classroom. What is covered up there is our flight simulator that we have gotten installed, and I'll show you that in just a moment. This is a window into our 3D printing lab that's used every day. This is our Success Center, so that's at the corner of Career and Success. And since this picture was taken, we've added this at the corner. And so when I or students lead people through on a tour, we tell them, do you know how you find your way to career and success? And we say, you're right here. And we always point to the sign. So that's kind of a paying tribute to the Black historic signs that you see for the street signs in the historic part of town. And also students made that they welded that bracket for us. So it's kind of we're proud of that success and career intersection. This is a look at our amazing finance classroom. We have the NASDAQ ticker in there. It's just one of 3 business marketing and finance classrooms. We've actually added another with advertising, and that advertising space, I think I have a picture of it. It is amazing. When you're here, it's on the 2nd floor right above the finance classroom. Just ask me and we'll take you up there. It's beautiful. This is our robotics space. Every time I lead people through here who know about robotics, they're amazed that we have the FANUC machine there in front of you. That is actually going to be something that is kind of centerpiece for our students who are learning programmable logic control. And that's the big thing for the future PLC. We want to start moving our kids into the 21st century farther along than they are right now. And so that's going to be a big important part of it. This is our Learning on Display for our culinary, one of our spaces there. This is our AmTech Pharmacy. It will be a lot better once we get all our shelving units in, but it looks pretty good right now. Hang on a sec. I know there's a way to do this. There we go. Send somebody to voicemail. And so and to be honest, our Farm Tech, we had 3 seniors who for the first time ever took that class, and all 3 already have jobs. They will test in May for their certification, but pending that, all 3 of them have jobs, 2 at Northwest Texas Hospital and 1 at the Walgreens on Bell and Hillside. So they've already got a good head start on their careers, and more to come. We have 17 signed up for the senior class next year. Just going, well, I'll talk about RDA in just a minute. Well, I think I already did, actually. Other innovative learning spaces, this staircase actually leads up to the 2nd floor, but that has become a place where students just kind of stop and sit and kind of gather their thoughts, or waiting for class, or just hanging out during lunch. They can do that, and it's kind of a cool space that otherwise would have been just dead floor space. We've made it into a kind of a collection space for our students. These spaces, this is our comfortable seating inside our animation studio. Students will sit there and look at the screen in front of them and provide professional critiques of each other's work so that they can improve the work that they're doing. This actually right now in the this studio that you see on the right is being utilized this morning and currently for a project with Wolfland and Wildcat Bluff. We've got Mary Emily and others in there, some younger students from Wolfland, some of our students are putting this piece together, and you're going to start, Panhandle PBS was here. We're going to start seeing some of our students work on television, and this may be one of the first things. On the left, you'll see a podcasting studio that our students have. I'm doing the Hey Amarillo podcast with Jason Boyette in a couple of weeks, and he said, you'll do it at my house, although you probably have better equipment at your place than I do at mine. So we'll have to get him in there sometime and do that podcast from inside the AmTech studio. Again, this is another shot at that AV production studio that we've got. Another shot of a local country artist, Lindsay Lane. Her video is coming out as soon as we can put it together. She was in front of the green screen, and she and her band were there for about a week filming. And so I'm very excited to not only hear the song, but also see the video that our students have put together for her. This is a look at our bistro. Our students eat here, they hang out here. This is a commons area for them when they get here. Sometimes in the morning, students beat me, and we open it up at about 6:45, and I get here about 7:10, and students are already in this space and just getting ready to start their day. Here's another look at the bistro, Cafe 21, and our students have the La Marzocco machine there. You see prominently displayed front and center, and that's where they have learned how to make not only espresso drinks, but also how to make the latte art on top. My latte art looks like big blobs of just yummy goodness, but I still like it. And then up top on the right, that we just served a group this week inside the kitchen. So we not only have service outside the kitchen, but inside the kitchen, where our students can serve them fresh from the stove, just like in Mama's Kitchen. So it's kind of a fun place for smaller gatherings of about 15. Sorry. I'm not kidding. My phone rings off the wall. People want tours, and I love it because this is what we're about. We're about helping our community find students who can help in our workforce, and it's just cool. This is our esports classroom, and so this has become a very popular thing for our students. It's not even a class; it's just kind of like an extracurricular event for us. We have not only robotics competitions, but we have esports competitions as well. Our students just finished up their season this spring. They were in the final 16, so like the Sweet 16 of the entire Western United States in a game called League of Legend. And we're just so proud of them and their work and how hard they've done, how much work they put into it, and showing professionalism, cooperation with each other, collaboration, and communication. They're just doing a great job. This is part of our law and public service. We have a courtroom, as you can see there on the left. We've got a 911 simulation lab up top there. And we just have students being able to be trained to go to work downtown at the Sims building as dispatchers. Students can reenact old cases or start new ones. They can try cases that they come up with. Inside here as well, we have a VR simulation called Apex, where you can see students on the left, they're putting on the VR equipment. And then on the right, you see what actually the student sees inside that headset. What you don't see is that the student has a vest on and has a holstered Glock 19 with the firing pin taken out of it. And our entire goal is to get them to keep that pistol in the holster, to teach them how to de-escalate a situation rather than hype it up so that they have to pull their weapon. So we're trying to teach them how to do a traffic stop or how to handle a domestic dispute, or maybe we plant them in a Miami street where there's a club and they need to disperse a crowd that won't leave. And so they got to use their voice to be able to de-escalate versus escalating. So our law and public service students are doing a great job this year. This is a look at our collaboration area. You can see, I think the students are pretty comfortable in this. This is one of 3 areas that we have for them. You can collaborate. You see some of the students with their computers open. some students collaborating there in the background on a project, and then just students in the foreground kind of chilling until class starts. So those young professionals know when class starts. We don't ring bells here, but as soon as it's time to go, they're in class. This is our paint booth. It's a blow-therm paint booth. It's a one-off model. We designed it ourselves, and so you'll not see another one of these in the world. We ordered it from Italy. It came over in shipping crates, and we had it put together. And actually, they're finishing it out today and starting training this afternoon, I believe, so we can get inside there and give Amarillo the best paint job possible. This is a look actually of this morning. I went and took a better picture of our AutoTech facility with cars in it. So we do take customers' cars. We're full up this year with customer work. We have about 4 weeks left with students. That last week actually is our final project week. So we don't even have cars to do to add to that except to finish out the work. But this is a fully functioning AutoTech facility. And it's just an amazing space for our students and for our community. This is a fresh look at our construction lab. I took that this morning. You can see how students have some cutting boards there in the foreground. They're gluing those up from different pieces of wood. They'll learn how to plane that, how to make sure it's smooth, and then they'll put a good stain on that. I think they actually use just good mineral oil on that, and then it'll be ready for Mother's Day. So that's a kind of a cool project, but that's a great space for our students to learn how to not only do pieces like this, but how to build houses. This is a look above at an older look at our HVAC lab. This is a new look at it. Over the year, actually over since January, we've built a 2-story framed up construction there. So our students will know how plumbing and how heating and air works, even from the second floor. So we've got all kinds of good things going on there in HVAC and plumbing and electrical as well. This is a look at our welding area, our welding bay. And it's amazing to see the projects. The students did some of their own personal projects that they paid for, and to see the dedication that they put into those is just amazing. Don't know if you know this or not, but Education Credit Union has partnered with us and has hired 6 of our juniors this year to work at the Education Credit Union right here at AmTech. We have the 7th branch that is built. It will open to the public in August. Our students this year are being onboarded and paid nearly $14 an hour while they're in high school as juniors. This summer, they'll go to work in all the many different branches to kind of learn customer service and learn more about what the credit union does for our community. And then they'll open it up in August. 6 students will be working 2 or 3 hour shifts throughout the year, not just constrained to the school year, but they can be working through spring break, through Christmas, through Thanksgiving, and all of that. So this is a great space. This is the front part of it, and it looks just absolutely beautiful. It's amazing. I told you that we had a flight simulator, and here that flight simulator is. Wendy Parker, our aerospace teacher, is inside that flying when I took the pictures. I got in it and flew around for about 20 minutes. I was having a good time. I was happy that the second time I took off, I didn't crash. And so I was up in the air flying around, and I got called to the office after about 20 minutes. And I thought, well, I don't want to just shut down the simulation. I'd like to learn how to land. So I kind of spun around and turned the plane around, what I thought was turned around. And I could not, for the life of me, find Rick Husband Airport. I couldn't. I was like, okay, I'm going to have to quit. And then I looked down and I saw a road. Then I got closer, and it was actually I-40. And I landed on I-40. Did you know that on a Friday afternoon at about noon, there's absolutely no traffic on I-40? Who knew? I was able to successfully land that thing. I was very proud. But our students are actually they learn what all those instruments are about. I just kind of looked at it and got up in the air a little bit, and you would not have wanted to be my passenger on that day, I'll guarantee you. This is a look at actually Emma that is featured in that magazine. She's doing some work there on the left. And you see our registered dental assisting lab. We've got those mannequins in there. This is our doctor's clinic. So you can see the exam tables. In our other room, that's when the students get their CMA, Certified Medical Assisting. Here in the other classroom, it's patient care technician, and it's more set up like a hospital room. We've ordered high fidelity mannequins that will help us create actually a sim lab. So we will have a sim lab, not probably to the degree that Texas Tech has one, but I will tell you, not many high schools have those high fidelity mannequins. So it's going to be a great space. This is our cadaver lab. We have 6 different cadavers inside our anatomage table. And when you're out, or if you've seen this, you know how much our students are learning on these machines. Most adults want to stay right here and look at it more than we have time to on the tours, but it's a great learning tool for our students. This is a shot of our drone coliseum when we have students in it. We can fit about 350 students there. We bring in visiting professionals, or maybe Ms. Hooker or I will just simply visit with the students and talk to them about our expectations and what we, you know, or what's about to happen this week or next week or this semester. We just get them up there, and that's our auditorium. We had an event this year called Ignite Success back in February, and it was an amazing professional conference for our junior students. And that the culmination of that really is today at AmTech in our Coliseum right there, where we have 60 tables set up. We've got all our business partners here who are looking for mentees next year. So our internship program can really.
Could you say that again?
I cannot say that again. Sorry. And so they're going to be interviewing from 4:30 to 6 to see which of our junior students who will be seniors next year will be coming to work with them as student interns. This is a pretty cool shot because I mentioned earlier our AmTech car show, which was a huge hit. We actually cram packed these cars plus others to reach a total of 75 cars. It was amazing. And this was an early shot on the day before. And the gentleman there's one person there. That's his own car. He's kind of getting ready for the event, but we had a lot more people come through. I'd say about 500 people found AmTech on Saturday this past week. This is what's flashing on our Jumbotrons right now as we cycle through the many different pictures and videos. This was a huge event. We had a great ribbon cutting. It was a wonderful memory for us all who are part of this and for our community to come out and see what we're actually doing at AmTech. The promise, we've made promises to this community for the past 2 years. And really it's such a blessing to be able to see this promise realized in AmTech Career Academy, in our students, our young professionals, in our teachers who are so dedicated and hardworking and professional, and our community who's coming by to support us and coming alongside us and creating parallel pathways that we never could have created on our own. Literally, I had one company say, I can take every single one of your students that you graduate this year. Not sure every student would want to work there, but you never know. So we have opportunities for our students to get that head start in life. We had a cool ribbon cutting. So this was the first, actually we cut 2 for Amarillo Chamber of Commerce. Then we had another ribbon cutting Mr. Loomis did with the Amarillo Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And then we had our own ribbon cutting behind that AmTech banner. We pulled it aside, and then we had one of our welding students cutting our own kind of braided ribbon. It was a metal ribbon. And our welding student then, after successfully cutting the ribbon, revealed that this is what a welder looks like these days. A lot of people did not realize that wasn't a boy in there. And then we realized that Dinara Cruz, who's a junior at Paladuro, was in all of that gear because she is one of our welding students. If she wants to do it for a career, she's got a great career ahead of her. So she's taking a couple of different pathways here, but that was a fun event for us to have that day. That's basically it for the presentation. I've got time for some questions, and I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and get back to see all of you and see if y'all have any questions. Can they unmute, Mary?
Now, can you hear me?
I can.
I know there's got to be questions, but Jay, just like the bumper sticker, we wish we would have had something like this, and how wonderful for you and all of AISD to think about, giving these opportunities to our students, because you guys think about, if we went to AmTech, would we be in our current careers, or would we be doing something completely different? And so I'm just really excited about it. But please, while we've got Jay, he loves to answer questions.
Well,
Jay.
I have probably more of a salute comment, maybe a small question, but I was at the ribbon cutting, Jay, the other night. It was amazing, and got to partake at the open house. Not as long as I wanted to, just because of the crunch time, but I kind of, simmered through a few hallways, and it was just beautiful, phenomenal. I got to go upstairs, and the students were class acts. I mean, they told us about the projects they were working on. They were very professional. They shook hands. I was so impressed. I wanted to recruit them all for the bank, but they probably have even cooler futures ahead of them. But I did want to ask, because I know that someone there stated that there was going to be some future public space services, like the coffee, and so me and some other colleagues were like, oh, this would be a great meeting space, or to have coffee. And I didn't know what all the rules are, because it's still a school. So can you kind of just address that? And thank you. Well done.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks, Jennifer. So we've got our bistro open Thursdays and Fridays right now. It'll probably be shutting down after this week for the summer. But when we're open, we have a space that you can come in anytime between 8 and 1 o'clock on Thursdays and Fridays. And you don't even have to check in the school. It's an actual functioning space for you. It's right there on the front. So yes, you can come in there. But if we had some space reserved for the people inside the kitchen there. There were about, I think it was called the Women Executives Club or something. I can't remember what it was called, but there were about 16 of them in there. And that was through Denise Blanchard, who is an ASD person here working with our community. And so she had kind of that lunch there. But yes, if y'all would like to have events like that, we rent out our facility. So, but if it's lunch, if you're just bringing people in there for lunch, we'll have space for you. We're working on a system where you can actually reserve time. We're not quite there yet, but my vision is that we'll have, let's say, 20 spaces for reservation, and you want to bring 10 people with you, you could hit that. And if we have them available, all 10 of you then would be in that system, and we'd be waiting for you at about 11:30 or whenever you get there for lunch one day or for breakfast. We hosted Junior Achievement the other day. They rented out that space, and it was, I think there were 200 people there, just short of 200 people for that breakfast. So those spaces are definitely going to be open. The auto tech space, if you have something you'd like to have done on your car, we're full up this year. But starting next year, when it's time that we're doing brake jobs, we'll announce, hey, we're doing brake jobs on our website. And again, a place for you to reserve time to come in, or just come in off the street, pull in and do it just like you would do it out at Gene Messer Ford, where you pull in, a student will come. You won't see a teacher at all. It'll all be student led, and they will guide you through the process of how to get your vehicle repaired.
Jay, I know that.
Yeah, I hear my assistant principal saying not this year. Yes, Miss Hooker. I don't know if
Jay,
she's talking
there's
about
a question in the chat. How much is it to rent space? Also, what is happening at AmTech this summer?
Okay, so this summer, not a whole lot is happening. We're having a GT camp here or there. I am starting some tours, like I set up one for June 20th at 9:30. Or 9 o'clock, June 20th at 9. So if any of y'all, have friends you want to come, just call me and I'll get you on that list. But the other question, rent is generally about $35 an hour, depending on what space you rent. I think for 3 hours, it's about $100 a little over $100, $120 or something like that. And so it's not bad space rental. And we have a lot of different spaces that we're going to be able to put out there.
Very good. Johnny, I think you had a question, didn't you? No? Oh, okay.
Johnny knows everything.
Oh, Adrian, it was
He's been here
Adrian.
another number of times.
I'm good. Jay, just a question. I was amazed by how fast you're adding new programs. Do you expect at some point you'll outgrow the space you're in?
That's a great question that I think the answer I'm going to give is what we'll do is we may outgrow it here, but then we'll move some of the earlier coursework back to their home campus. So if you're a Tascosa student, for instance, in Principles of Health Science, and we outgrow the space for health science, maybe we need to push the freshman year back to Tascosa or all the other campuses, and then have teachers there while we continue to work here at our space. I don't know if we're ever going to outgrow the health science. We have 700 students next year in that, and we still have plenty of room. Things I mentioned as welding, we just cap out based upon the number of instructors that we have and the size of the space. Eventually, I anticipate adding instructors so that we can kind of share that space, but there's only a limited number of spots. So we're moving our students into machining, getting them an idea if they want that on sort of a waiting list, but then we hope they find that machining is every bit as rewarding as welding would have been for them. I will tell you this one thing too. At night, starting in the fall, Amarillo College will be teaching welding and machining here in the evenings. That will be their students at Amarillo College working here in the evenings, just as if they were at the East Campus. We're setting that up. I worked on that agreement last Friday, and we're getting some more technical dual credits for our own students through that. And then it won't be, it will be common to see Amarillo College students here in the summer as well, working in our spaces, especially until we get the Bazula Furniture Albertsons building running at Amarillo College. Once we do that, then we may continue to do what we do and just use that as maybe an upper level development space for the Amarillo College students. The sky's the limit really on what we're able to do with Amarillo College. They're such a good partner with us, and we're all swimming in the same ecosystem here. We don't want to overlap. We want to connect seamlessly so that we are having just a smooth flow of students going through our pipeline to produce students who will stay here in our community. I know that, let's say a company comes in and they're bringing in, let's say 500 jobs. Where are those people going to live if we don't have people who can build the houses? Because right now, my son's a realtor and there are only like 178 houses listed. And if I sold my own house, I saw what Pratt had said it's worth, and I'll guarantee you, I don't think it's worth that much. But I couldn't buy another house for, selling my house. I couldn't afford to live in Amarillo anymore. So we're going to have to do something about that, get more housing here. We're producing students as fast as we can to help build that infrastructure for the future of Amarillo. And if we don't get that done through us, Amarillo College, and then through partnerships with WT, we're just not doing our job. And so we're gonna work as hard as we can to get more and more students in the trades, because those are so very important to the future of Amarillo.
Another question that's in the chat is, have you thought about partnering with NASA? Talk about looking to the sky and no boundaries.
Well, we can actually produce parts that can go on a NASA spacecraft here in our manufacturing plant or our class, because we have something called a coordinate measuring machine. I had someone from Pantex come and they said, oh yeah, that's a great thing to have. So as far as NASA, we have our juniors get to participate or get to try out for the NASA, it's called the High School Scholars Program. And one year we had 11 students get accepted into it, and they get to go down to Houston for a week and spend some time down there and then do work all that next year. So as far as partnering with NASA, we're open to that. We would love to do that. We literally say, we don't say no to anything. So if NASA comes knocking, or we can go knocking on NASA's door, we're absolutely going to do that. I see also exposure to diesel mechanic work. We have purposely produced one large opening in our AutoTech facility so that we can pull in a big rig and bring it in and let students work on a diesel engine. So we are going to be working on diesel. We are partnering with groups like Bruckner's and Premier Trucking. We got a call from another one the other day who want to kind of help us get our students involved in that. So that is a big deal. Yeah, Elon Musk would love to come here. I've been trying to get Mike Rowe, and someone gave me his personal Gmail account. And so I'm going to send him an email and say, your people will not let me through to you. I need to talk because you need to come see what we've got here in Amarillo, Texas. It would be amazing to get him here, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Can I expand on the question about NASA? So when I was in Lubbock, we had a NASA school. And so NASA would actually send people to Lubbock, Texas to work with the students. And my son was in robotics. So I would say, something like that. And also I do want to provide a comment here is 3 of my children were at ACAL. I just wish they would have had these opportunities because they're in the university setting now. And I'm telling you, we're just worried about paying for school. And the students now at your facility, they're not going to be worried about debt. And I think that's just amazing.
Yes, that's absolutely right. Now, you mentioned the NASA. We had one of our robotics students go to Worlds this year in Houston, and she was able to work with NASA and MIT and Raytheon, and Oxford was there. So she got to work with NASA. But if we can partner with NASA and have them send people here, then great. We will absolutely do that. We don't teach the sciences, but we do have aerospace here. So that would be a great connection for NASA. I'm just trying to get Bell to partner with us right now because aerospace would perfectly lead to a partnership with Bell, and they're working with us. They're trying to figure out how that intersection will work. Pantex is working with us pretty well. Big companies like this are seeing the benefit of getting their workforce from us. Companies are calling before they decide to come to Amarillo. Cacique has been out here multiple times, and they called before they ever decided to come to Amarillo. Their HR department from New York City called and grilled me for about an hour. And so it was good to be a part of that. But I thought, oh, crud, if we lose the Cacique because of something I said, I'd feel real bad. But fortunately, they are here. And their new HR director just flew in from Florida the other day. And I almost couldn't get her out of here. It was fun. It was a fun visit.
I have to say, Jay, that we always hear from our speakers from Epic Success. We are glad that you guys are hosting something like this. Now, how do we keep them here?
Yep.
And so that partnership with Bell, especially, they need machinists like crazy, as you well know. And so, yeah, this is great for our community. Jennifer had a question in the chat about you having the opportunity to be the principal at this great school, and how did that opportunity come to you?
Well, I'm just going to be real honest and say it's a God thing. I've had my ups and downs in my career, mostly ups. There were times when I felt down where maybe a door was closed, and I thought, well, God, I thought I would be the perfect person for that. So why, not like Job, because I didn't have boils all over my body or anything. But I would just think, well, I thought I was perfect fit for that job. And so just by being patient and continuing to pray, and he has led me to where he wants me to be. I literally have on my wall in here a prayer that it's from Psalms 127:1 that it's got a picture of the front of AmTech on it that says, unless the Lord build the house, the workers labor in vain. And I realized it wasn't just for this building, it's for my life. And so unless I let God build my life, I'm the one that labors in vain. And so every time I try to take the wheel, I screw things up. So I've learned as I've gotten older, I've gotten wiser and more mature as a Christian. Just turned things over to him. One time I was complaining to my wife one morning. I said, I can't find any of whatever teacher it was I was looking for. Literally, she said, just turn it over, kind of getting on to me. And I said, okay. That same day, 2 people applied. And I'm like, okay, God, you're answering me. So I don't know. I'm very blessed to be here, Jennifer. It's just, it is whoever comes after me eventually, when I do retire, they better not screw it up. Let me just say that, but they will be blessed as well. This is such a, I come to work every day. I'm not feeling great this morning. I woke up in the middle of the night. I got a little cold and I thought, oh no, I don't want to have laryngitis because I've got to speak to Los Barrios. And fortunately, I've got a voice, but I'm not feeling great. But I thought, even when I'm not feeling great, I love coming here. Driving to work is a pleasure for me. It's always like, what's next? God, what's next on the plate for AmTech? I told at the ribbon cutting, I said, when will construction be done? Never, because we will never be done moving forward and continuing to grow the programs, grow the students, and just finding what that next big thing in the world is. It used to be between big technological events, it was about 100 years. But those events are closing the gap to, then there was 60 years, then it was like 20 years. It's going to become, like the Industrial Revolution was a thing of the past, and now it's the next, AI will start the 5th revolution, and you're going to see those gaps closer and closer, and people in the world who will live a little bit longer are going to see not just one huge swing in their lifetimes, but multiple in one lifetime. So we're going to have to get used to technology. It's not going away, and it's not replacing us. It's just replacing what we do with technology. We've got to learn different jobs. I read a story about sock makers back at the turn of the 19th century. Get all bent out of shape because the factory model came in and replaced their jobs. They just had to pivot and become the factory workers and not the people who made the socks, right? And that's what technology and robotics and AI are going to be about as we move into the future. So we're trying to keep ahead of that here and just see what's next.
Well, this was an amazing presentation. Again, it's hard to believe that it was a year ago that you came and talked to us about, the idea, the concept that we were going to see unfold. And wow, it's just amazing.
Yes.
It is 12 o'clock. And so I want to be mindful of everybody's time, but I also want to ask you one more time before we log off, if there are any other questions or thoughts for Jay. Okay. Well, I did want to tell you, all of you guys that are left, that, we give out scholarships. Los Barrios gives out scholarships every year, and we're proud to have selected our scholarship recipients. And so we will be announcing those on our Facebook page. So please be sure to check back in the next couple of weeks. Well, actually next week, I think, to see who this year's recipients will be, and make sure to congratulate them, because this is amazing that they've completed high school for a lot of them, and that they're going on to college. So thank you again, Jay. I appreciate your time. I know you're very busy, and thank you to everybody that logged on today.
Mary, thank you for being a part of our leadership team here at AmTech. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. It's good
Bye,
seeing you.
everyone.
Take care.
Y'all too.